Few stories from the Pacific are as legendary as the daring assault led by Captain Murray Baker of PT-104 on September 10th, 1942. Known as Lean Jean, this daring PT boat and her iron crew would go down in history as one of the only PT to ever sink an aircraft carrier in a direct confrontation. This mission not only showcased Baker's tactical brilliance, but also cemented his place in history as the first and only captain to sink more than one aircraft carrier in a single day. Furthermore, it is one of the only times such an event was caught on film, and in colour no less. This never-seen-before footage will prove that heroism really has no limits when determined men are involved. Would you like to know more? Subscribe for more thrilling tales from the Pacific. Ahoy, welcome back to Boat Crew. Things have changed in the Pacific. Forces have escalated, tensions are rising, and it is now almost total war. We have the drop of the new update, Floating Fortresses, and luckily for us, it doesn't affect our save game whatsoever, and so the tale of Murray Baker, PT-104, and her faithful crew will continue. We are just trading out our call-ins, get some new stuff on the deck. We've got some Corsairs here, some artillery strikes, a few Wildcats, and I think we will use the Wildcats with bombs. Going to make sure I use all of my call-ins. We have a pretty decent budget here at 17,000, so I can afford to be quite liberal with the air support. Well, more Corsairs, my favourite World War II aircraft. Oh, I guess it rivals the Kitty Hawk for me. In my last video, I mentioned that there are big changes coming to the torpedo loadouts, and that gives us a lot of options. We have the Mark 14, Mark 15, the Mark 28, the Mark 8, lots of stuff. We're going with the Mark 15, which is the big boom, destroyer levels of boom. When I started the campaign, the major goal was to find the new ships, the cruisers, and sink one. Things have really changed now that we have cruisers, aircraft carriers, a few auxiliary ships that have been added. We have zones of control. You can see here around the Pacific, some of our bases have an air base located, and it's projecting a zone of control. If we're in those areas, when we get attacked or fight a battle, we will get air support from those air bases. We don't have a carrier on the deck yet, but you can see here that some of our bases are pretty well fortified. I can't see where the Japanese zones of control are unless I've scouted the base. So we may have a situation where we're heading around thinking we're not spotted and we're really deep within an enemy airbase or fortress's zone of control. I haven't seen a fortress either. My last playthrough, we didn't have that level of fortification. Cedu has been a major place for us to just harass and farm points, but we're at the stage now where we have a lot in the budget. Uh-oh. I was just about to scout, and it looks like we're being detected by an air wing. We have a little bit of heat on us, but not much. What have we got here? They look like Ki-84s. Uh-oh. They're supposed to be strong. One of them has a 30 millimeter armament. Too many M's in that sentence. Alright, here they come. There's been some changes to the way that aircraft behave as well, so I will need to be mindful of how they behave. Lots of repeating of words. It's also been a little while since I've played Boat Crew, a couple of weeks. I heard about the new patch coming and I just wanted to put it on hold. I didn't want to advance too far, because I wanted to experience the true Pacific War. Unfortunately, our scouting mission has been thwarted, and what do we have here to fight? A couple of patrol boats, sub-chaser, coastal tanker. Oh wow, that was a big splat. And wouldn't you know it, our XO just got thrown overboard. Better go and get him. Our Corsair support, we have 5 on station, ready to help us out. I really just want them to start picking away at the base while we finish off this coastal tanker. Here we come. I'm not going to waste one of these big torpedoes on him. Oh, it's got splattered again. It's going to rocket them to death. Oh, there we go. We're seeing all of the new features. That was a catastrophic detonation as one of our squad boats runs over the tanker and collects all the RP for us. The catastrophic damage, setting off the magazine or the volatile fuel on deck that the coastal tanker may carry. So if we're able to hit with hard-hitting weapons, we may be able to cause catastrophic damage, and it'll be very visible. Also, ships will have to contend with their damage control systems. So the more damage we do to a ship, the harder it'll have, harder time it'll have to stay alive. We have a lot of firepower in the form of our squadron boats. Corsairs. Beautiful aircraft. The whistling death to the Japanese. 4th of September 1942, we came back to Savo after the raid at Sidu was recognised. They're on their way there now. I don't think I'll help them. We smashed the defences pretty hard. And they're pretty strong in terms of attack force. So let's go and scout out these other positions here off to the east. Once Sidu is taken, they will be sort of cut off. And so I will want to strangle them. Wear them down. But we don't have an assault force ready yet, so there's no point really attacking at this stage. Waiting for the scout. It's 8:30 PM. The assault at Sidu is underway. Pretty strong position here at Orki. 12:30 at night, and whoa, what is this here? This is, I think, my first fortress. Yes, 1 times fortress. We're going to have a look, just to see what the defenses are like. Concrete bunkers, mortar positions, watchtowers. It looks like there are barbed wire fences. We've got machine gun nests. And they're all over the beach. Everywhere. Fortunately, it's late at night, so we haven't been spotted yet. I'm not assaulting this place. Oh no, someone's opened fire. Someone's got itchy trigger finger. They'll be getting written up for this for sure. Curiously, the Japanese are now only opening fire. They must have been ranging us in, taking their time. That's a lot of firepower coming our way. As is that. Look at that wall of mortars. We don't have the loadout for a standoff weaponry either, so if we're going to assault a place, we need to get nice and close. And yeah, that looks way too strong for us. We're blowing things up on the beach, but not sure what. Scouting up the last of these positions at Atoifi. We've got a task force going past that fortress. Ooh, they've been attacked by aircraft. Atoifi is the same strength as Orki. Let's head up here and try and help these people. They're a pretty substantial force, but they've added more fighters. Just scrambling fighters to keep attacking, and they're scrambling fighters for us. Nowhere near enough fighters to be a threat. Let's have a look and see what an airstrike looks like. They're pouring the fighters in. Oh, look at how many there are. 23 Key 84s. So this is an aircraft-only skirmish. The friendly fleet is off our bow. We're heading towards them now. That's quite a few fighters. First wave coming in. They are targeting us rather than the allies. Wow, they're really using this model of a fighter now. You may see the Key 84 everywhere. There goes the bazookas. Someone did ask if we could use bazookas in an AA capability, and there is your answer. They didn't hit anything, but it is possible. So many of them. Squadron boat's putting up a good fight. We're trying to close the distance between us and our ally. I think we've lost a squadron boat. We have. Yep, we've lost one. He just disappeared off the minimap. They're quite potent, these Key 84s. But they're all gone now. Let's head over and grab a resupply from this tender that's here. Fletcher got smashed, lost a turret. More fighters, scrambled, topping up the ammunition. Nothing to be really concerned about. Yeah, that was quite a lot of aircraft. I think that's the most I've seen. So the air war really is taking off. That Key 84 slamming into the water right off the starboard side of the Fletcher. Last ditch effort to try and do some damage. And we've got one more out there up high. Pesky things. Got him. We managed to keep those guys alive. It seems that the airbase is scrambling fighters every couple of hours against anything in its zone of control. I'd rather they go after their friendly fleet than us. Let's stop in at Atoifi. See if there's anything of opportunity here. Stock standard base raid, nothing of note. Although the airstrike, they do a lot of damage to your squadron boats. I've lost all of them. A couple of strafing runs and they just sink. So I need to make sure that that's not me that takes that damage. I guess that's quite expensive, but we have made ground at Atoifi. And that Allied task force is hanging around the fortress, sort of taking all the aggro. Look at this attack here. We've got a massive attack happening at Rendova. We need to scramble a reply to that. We do need to stop somewhere for resupply. Topping up our call-ins because this next fight, if we can get there in time, it looks like there may be 6 destroyers if I'm reading the unit card right. So we need to get there fast. I am going to stop in at Vangunu because that just screams lots of destroyers to me. We've got another attack happening over here, but there's lots of allies present, so it should be okay. Stopping in at Vangunu, go to loadout. Now we have the oversized Mark 15 fitted. We can only take 1 rack of those, or 2 torpedoes in total. So, but we do have enough to take the Mark 28, or we could take the Mark 14, which has the magnetic detonator. I think we're probably better off taking the Mark 28. It's got some homing capability. We'll put that on the front. Yeah, definitely taking the Mark 28. Guidance range 800 meters. Splash damage is same as what we're used to, 25,000. I have to strip the bazookas off the boys again because we need the funds to stock up our squadron. We need the extra boats to take that aggro for us. The boys will get their bazookas back if this mission pays off, as I hope it will. 6 destroyers possibly. Trading those bazookas allows us to bring in 2 more squadron boats. Almost a full pack. And like I said, I think this might pay off. But we want to stay alive. In the fading light of Sunday, September the 6th, 1942, the boys head over to a massive action at Rendova. Let's have a look what it holds for us. Wow, 4 Fubukis, 2 Akizukis, 2 minesweepers, 2 sub-chasers, motor gunboats, lots of landing craft, Kami amphibious tanks. We have the help of a Barnegat class tender, we have a Fletcher, and we have some Elcos, and I believe that 5 of those are mine. We have a couple of submarine chasers. This is going to be a tough battle. Can we come out victorious? Running is an option, okay? We don't have to stay here and throw our lives away. We've got Shirayuki and Akizuki. High threat ships, if I do say so myself. Our first action will be to line up a torpedo attack with our light homing torpedoes. Just throwing them out there. Estimating the course. Really, if they hit the light ships, that's okay. Alright, one of the big boys is off. Tracking the Akizuki. Second of the big boys, that's our homing torpedoes gone. So we've got a 30-degree seeker cone. As long as we give it a bit of generous lead, it should find its target. And it has. Driving home and setting off the magazine on the Akizuki. Sealing her fate with one torpedo, the second one was just there for humiliation factor. Letting loose with the heavy hitting Mark 15 on the port side. Switching over to the starboard side. Oh no! That torpedo got stuck on our stern. That was a scary moment. The boys of PT 104 now have to try and mingle their way through this horde of landing craft. We have the assistance of our squadron boats, all fitted with Bofors. Can't quite see a gap here, so we're going to turn away. I think that Mark 15 has found its mark in the background, hitting that destroyer and setting her off. She's on fire. That was a big torpedo. That was a bit of a Hail Mary throw. We sent two her way. The second one did miss. First one though, massive 35,000 damage. We're going to head over back towards our allied ships. The Fletcher here is taking a lot of fire from the other destroyers in the pack. Our goal here is to try and stop these boats from reaching the beach. Try and stop them from encircling our allies. We're calling in all the air support that we can. We have Dauntless, Corsairs and Wildcats. We've had a major detonation here. I think that was the Fletcher's ammunition rack going up. That Fletcher is in trouble. We did try our best to get over there and help her, but she's being focused down by all of the destroyers on the field. It does give us a breather. We aren't really the priority target in an engagement like this until we get within torpedo range. Pulling up alongside the tender now. Need to stop here to get the torpedoes on board. Nice quick reload. Clamping them on. And so we're going to head out to this, I think it's a Fubuki over here, but she is taking some fire. The tender and the submarine chasers. There are two ships, I believe, in the mist. Spotlights turning on us. The airstrikes are inbound, rockets falling on her. We are focusing them down one at a time. This most certainly feels like a team effort. And if all the battles become like this, it makes you feel part of a greater whole rather than just the single hero boat. Weaving around that shot. We have her in our sights. Looks like we have a minesweeper here. We're just going to launch all the rockets. The red rockets glare. Half of those striking home. Something exploding on the deck. We are going to leave those targets for the rest of our allies. We've lost men overboard. I did not notice in the fury of that attack. Murray is refusing to turn back though. We have the momentum. We need to make sure that these landing craft don't reach the shore. We don't want to put our Marines' lives in jeopardy. We have plenty of air support to call in. The points are just stacking up from all of these destroyer kills that we've managed to secure. Granted, it is a team effort, but we get the spoils. Let's try and get an artillery strike on this ship. The Akibono. Just off the bow. Let's see if we can strike home. Ooh, I think we did. You don't always have to use torpedoes. She's got a fire at the fore. Let's get closer. She doesn't know who to engage, but we are the chosen ones. That airstrike there, managing to make something go up, possibly a torpedo, exploding on the deck of the Akibono. Take that, Fubuki. And I think we've managed to literally doorstop that attack. You aren't going anywhere. And that was good. That was fun. I got the shakies. Nice. The objective was to make sure they didn't set foot on this place. And they shall not. Not today, anyway. The Japanese have proved to be quite persistent this campaign. So you can't underestimate them. That was an attack to remember. Fortunately, we've arrived right at the right time. Our new torpedo layout proving to be instrumental in that victory. Let's have a look. 33 landing boats, 4 Fubukis, 2 Akizukis. The accolades are rolling in. We have a free budget of 20,000 RP, which is more than we spent on our new rack of torpedoes. Yeah, so we came out, we broke even on that attack. We got our money back for our torpedoes. We got our money back for buying the squadron boats. And so I can give my guys back their bazookas at any stage. Now, I'm really happy with the way our boat's running at the moment, the layout, etc. But someone wanted to see the 40mm 04s fitted to the back of the Elco boat, and so we will do that. To run this gun effectively, you need 2 gunners and 2 loaders dedicated to it. And I'm a little bit worried because most of the ammunition on our boat is stored at the fore end of the boat, and that does not bode well for reload times. So I don't think the Elco is going to be the greatest fit for the Bofors duel. It will provide a lot of firepower, but it does mean that I need to, like I said, we've got to have 4 gunners. Going back to a full squadron, we will draw more heat, but I don't care about heat. Murray doesn't care about heat. From the heat come the extra air supports, and that's good. Reinforcements have arrived. We have our first carrier strike group. We also have Fubukis. Alright. This guy looks like he's moving out. I was going to raid here anyway, so having some ships here to kill and earn some money off will be good. As you can see, our crew is very experienced at the moment. We have 4 gunners. 2 on the Bofors, 2 on the 50 cals. We have 2 loaders. That is our XO. Oh, so we have 3 loaders. We've got our XO doing that job as well. The Gopher, Stephen Sisk, and Jewett Hogler, who used to be a mechanic. Obviously they are, you can change their roles at will, but this is the default as we go into every battle. And yeah, I am worried that I have to keep an eye on our men's health and the condition of the boat, because it is a lot for one mechanic to have to deal with. The attack will commence in earnest once this Mark 28 strikes home. We're going to launch the other one. Launch off the light homing torpedoes. There we go, big hit there amidships on the first target. And the other destroyer is not going to have enough time to move out of port before she gets hit by our other torpedoes. And I'm hoping, yep, we've got strikes all around. Synchronizing that to hit both of the destroyers at the same time. Oh, and they're both gone up at the same time. Glorious ammunition detonations. Perfectly timed. I planned that, I swear. Oh, that's great. At least you know you're doing something catastrophic to them. It's going to be hard for the repair crews to put the ship back together if they are blown to smithereens. This first destroyer is proving resilient. Take out her escort, line up for a rocket strike. She's on fire, she's trying to escape. She's not staying to fight. More rockets, more rockets. The bazookas fly too. Once we get within a certain range, our team just open fire with the bazookas. We truly are a rocket boat. Have some more. Okay, now we need to deal with the base. But we have a lot of RP to collect. That makes this raid worth it. We get what they were carrying. They were here with supplies to fortify this base, as well as the bounty for killing them. Here come our favourite Corsairs. We've got some Dauntless to throw into the mix. Why not a Wildcat too? I didn't use a lot in my last campaign, so I'm just going to spam air support. Make this really feel like the Pacific War. And it does draw a lot of pressure off of us when there are so many targets flying about. So we are out of ammunition, by the way. So our dual Bofors, I didn't really pay much attention to its performance or whether it actually did much. I'm sure viewers will have noticed.
I did spend most of my ammunition on the rocket spam. That rocket launcher is a hungry, hungry hippo. With the loadout I had before, the ammunition up the front was really meant for the rockets. But now we're going to have to share it with the Bofors. Casual cruise here. As our squadron do the heavy lifting, we don't have any ammunition. The 50s have got some, but that's it. The attack at Ganonga was a success. We've got an assault inbound. We have our carrier strike group making its way over to us. We've lost a lot of our call-ins. They must have been given to us as a reward, and so they don't come back as cards. The attack force has been intercepted by some fighters, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, 7 Key 84s. There's this attack group making their way to Ganonga. They pretty much got that sorted. Oh, we got a splash down right close to the formation. Japanese pilots crashing down very close to American ships. Intentional? We don't know yet. But that's it. Oh, here comes another one. Alright, it's pretty safe to say that that base just north of us has an airbase with considerable reach. 2 hours later, they scrambled more Key 84s. I'm not going to fight them. That base... Oh, sorry, that fleet seems capable enough. Alright, Monday, 7th of September, the evening. We're about to arrive at Ganonga. We're just escorting these guys. We're not going to help them fight it. Oh, there's been some reinforcements here, but they should be able to handle that. We have one destroyer in that fleet. Speed up time. Just watching the battle. We don't need to commit ourselves. Alright, Ganonga is secure. I need to have a look at Vela la Vela. It's safe to say that the Blackett has the airbase. Vela la Vela is quite strong, but no air support. There comes one out there every 2 hours. During daylight hours, it seems. And they've got no one else to attack, so they're going straight for Rendova. Our carrier strike group's arriving on station and sending out fighters. Oh, look. Some arrived from Blackett as an attack force. And the carrier's sitting off the coast. Are you going to send more fighters? Yes, you are. So they're just going to keep stacking fighters into this position until someone wins. So the first real air battle of the war. Look, we got the Wildcats chasing down a lone zero. Stick together, boys. 90% of the forces here today at Rendova are aircraft. And they don't seem to care about us. We are just observers at the moment. Obviously, we can attack them. But there are so many Wildcats up at the moment that the Key 84s just have to fight them. Have never seen this many aircraft in this game. I should have sat off the coast for a few more hours until they stacked even more in. Just really pushed the limits of the engine. If you do own the game and you manage to see an air battle like this, let me know how big it gets. That's an impressive size air battle. And so far, no one's even made a strafing run at us. They're all peeling off from the furball into individual dogfights. Some guys are flying with the wingmen, others aren't. Wildcats are performing really well against this new Key 84. And our job really has just been to watch out for falling planes. And that seems like the Americans have a victory. Despite the hard-fought victory at Rendova, the fighters from Blackett just keep pouring in. And now we have an attack force coming through. Looks like 2 fleets. One's heading to Blackett, one's heading to Rendova. Let's intercept these guys. So they've been trying to soften up Rendova with mass air attacks. Alright, this is nothing the boys of PT 104 haven't seen before. We have the assistance of pretty high-tech torpedoes at the moment. We have switched out the Mark 15s. I feel like the boat is very sluggish at the moment. It doesn't feel like it sailed the other day, and I'm not sure if it's because of the extra weight, or there's been some changes to the boat handling in between patch. I'm not sure. But I really feel the weight, and maybe the bow force as well. And so I have to be more measured in my maneuvers. That's okay. We are really loaded to the gills with weaponry. Our loaders are struggling to keep that 40mm dual gun on the back loaded. But they still have time to somehow fire their bazookas while doing so. We've become a very good shot with them. Fish away. Both fish. Oh no, we just lost XO and a couple of his mates overboard. Loaders. We still have the one loader. We lost our repairman as well, so keeping an eye. We do have a fair amount of damage to the midships on the port side. Dropping in an artillery barrage on Orboro. Don't really have time to stop. It's not wise to stop when you have a destroyer pressing down on you. So the boys on board going to silence this DD, and then we'll go back and pick our friends. There's been a massive explosion aboard the Orboro. There's going to be a few more in a moment, as our Corsair or air support strafes from every direction. Few rogue rockets there. Murray getting a bit impetuous with the rocket trigger. But this Fubuki really never stood a chance. We have our first high priority target spotted. An aircraft carrier, enemy aircraft carrier, Ryujo. I probably murdered that pronunciation. Australians don't do well with... The air wings scrambled from Blackhead have found us. We did try to make it through here during the night, but early in the morning, they discovered us. And they do a lot of damage. So you kind of need a squadron boat. Look, it just got chewed to pieces. 2 strafing runs and she's gone. So the carrier was last seen 21 hours ago. I don't think she's going to stop at port. It'd be a very silly thing to do. Yeah, we've got a sub-chaser and a coastal tanker, but no, we have priority target. We've got a rough estimation of her heading, so let's head out of here. We've got spotted the Kinu about 4 hours ago. The Kinu, I believe, will be a cruiser. It is. And the Notori, we have 2 cruisers and a carrier on the field. So Japanese are really upping the ante. Stopping it at Dadali. See if we have a cruiser stopping in here. Maybe the cruiser is trying to form up with the carrier strike group. No, nothing home. Our carrier is in a bit of a perilous position, so it's pulling back from Vangunu, probably heading to Pavuvu, in the safety of Allied waters. They have pushed us out of Rendova. I couldn't make it there in time, and there was quite a large attack force. What is this? We have aircraft accompanying it. No, just coastal tankers and a recon seaplane. So we will be spotted instantly. I feel the hunt. The hunt is on. These guys are just in our way. We will take them. They are targets of opportunity and still very high value. So, see you later, guys. Bazookas and 5-inch rockets sealing their fate. The early boats. We have sub-chasers here that need to be dealt with. Swinging that 40mm around, opening fire with all weapons aboard. PT-104 really is a close-range brawler. She doesn't care for standoff tactics. Murray likes to look the men in their eyes before he lays waste to them. You just see this giant mountain of a man hanging onto the helm. Half his body's above the bridge. Something like out of a comic book almost. Like the US Navy's version of Mr. Incredible. Alright, our light tracking torpedoes are off. Going to try and hit this rear freighter in the prop. Slow them right down. We're hot on their heels. They are feeling the heat. Small fire aboard. Large fire aboard. Yes, very satisfying. Fire the rockets! The amount of damage that they do at close range, because you just cannot miss, is amazing. Throwing this ship out of the water, almost. And then underneath it, fireworks for all. Do a donut on our new dive wreck. Take that. Alrighty, after that little diversion, we are back on the hunt. Our carrier task force is a little bit exposed here in open water. Let's head down towards them and maybe... No, we need to go to Pavuvu. We are out of ammunition. Ammunition for the rockets. Wait. We have a target sighted. What is it? There it is! The aircraft carrier. And she has quite a substantial escort. The Ryujo. Oh, we are on our way. Murray Baker about to make history fighting a carrier in a PT boat. Granted, it's only an escort carrier, but I digress. I think we are either about to make history or we will become faceless names etched in stone in Arlington. We have, oh my god, nerd overload, Nagara class, 2 Ryujo class carriers, 1 coastal tanker, 1 submarine tender. Oh my goodness me. This is a big fight, guys. History in the making. Hopefully, the first place that you will ever see a carrier sunk in boat crew. At least the most spectacular sinking of a dual carrier fleet that you will ever see. Possibly on YouTube. Like I said, it's Guts or Glory, and we are going in. Our first target is going to be the cruiser escort. We absolutely must take out the firepower of this fleet before we try and soften up and pry our prized foe out from their position. We have a homing torpedo on the way, a second on the way. We are aiming for this light cruiser, which I have never faced. Murray is determined. Oh, this Notori, are you going to die today? I believe so. Whoa, look at all that firepower. She's doing ripple fire. All the ships in the fleet are concentrating their fire on us. Notori has taken a torpedo. I think a single torpedo. I don't know if the second laid home, but there is a lot to dodge here. Our squadron boys are following us faithfully, but I don't know if they can survive that hail of gunfire that is meant for us. Wow, we need to get some distance. We do have a fleet here with us. An allied fleet. There is a massive explosion on the Notori. Damage control teams trying desperately to put out the blaze on the decks. Something volatile went up. Someone left the powder door open. And she's burning. We've got secondary explosions aboard. She's going under. That would be our first cruiser kill. Murray Baker, captain of PT-104, securing himself a Notori class scout cruiser. Even that alone by itself, worthy of a medal. We've called in an artillery strike on the carrier, and we have obliterated all of the aircraft on the decks. There you go, keep that in mind. If you're fighting a carrier, just drop arty on him, kill all of his air support. Try and get those points early in the match and just smash them with arty. Then their planes will be no issue. We still have 2 fish, only light, firing 1 now, firing the second, and we're going to head towards the allied fleet. This Japanese fleet is barreling towards our allied fleet. They will soon meet at very close range. The Ryujo class carrier, look at all those secondaries on the bow there, just absolutely lighting up our allied ship. Is that a Fletcher that's just gone up? That Fletcher just got absolutely obliterated. And I've been using that word a lot, but it is a good word to describe what is happening right now. This is true chaos. And I guess only a small reflection of what the war was actually like. But despite that, we need to get some ammunition because we can't get close to this fleet. Depth charges would be a death sentence in the fleet's current state. Our main goal is to try and stay close to the tender. We're not going to do anything too cheesy here. We're just going to reload and head out for another attack. Well, there's a lot of big boys still to deal with. We have another light cruiser to deal with. We have the 2 carriers. We have a destroyer escort and still that new submarine tender. The Jingay class, I believe it's called. Alright, all of the homing torpedoes are out. Please don't hit that allied boat. Fortunately, shallow draft boat. It's okay. Our torpedoes are tracking different targets. This one's going for the carrier, hitting it amidships. But look at that hail of gunfire as she opens up with all of her secondaries, and we are just withering fire. We have to turn away. That is deadly, deadly fire. Do not attack them from the front, that's for sure. There is a crazy amount of 25mm guns on that deck. We are taking critical damage to the starboard side amidships. Turning away from that, we have, I believe it's a destroyer behind us. It's too much chaos to really identify anything. It's going to take a moment to repair. We've still got the 1 repairman. Genoa doing the job too, the XO. Picking up a hammer for a moment. We're not really relying on our small caliber weapons, so I don't need to stress too much about reloading at the moment. We need to use our capital ship killers. One of the carriers is down. I don't think we can take credit for that, but we did hit her with 2 torpedoes. That was definitely a joint kill, but I'm sure that Fleet will award the torpedo hits. We've got our second carrier here, but I think we need to silence this other cruiser and her destroyer friend. The carrier looks like it's turning away. It knows it's in a little bit of trouble here. The Japanese, they were a little bit arrogant, thinking that they could take a small task force. They weren't expecting to get flanked by the premier PT boat squadron. Murray Baker. His aim is true. Those torpedoes hitting the bow of the cruiser, and looks like the destroyer's also been hit. Simultaneous detonations all around. It's really hard to tell what's working and what's not. This is what a war game should be like. You're just a small part of what's going on, but you can help swing the battle in your favor. Oh, and our tender is leading the charge here, acting like a mother goose, shepherding her little ducklings, giving them the nourishment that they need to keep fighting. PT-104 taking that nourishment in the form of new torpedoes and sending them on their way to seal this light cruiser's fate. You can't miss at that range with a homing torpedo, surely. And we haven't missed. Murray coming in with his signature rocket barrage, lighting up the magazines. The ready rack powder stores exploding, tearing a hole in the side of the light cruiser, and followed up with that beautiful trademark depth charge run. I think we've just sheared, yeah we did, we sheared the bow off the ship. And now we just have this large gargantuan submarine tender that makes ours look like a little baby. I would have to say that our tender's a mother duck, and that is a mother goose. And we want to stay away from the angry goose. I think that's the coastal tanker. I'm not sure what that is, but whatever it is, it just got obliterated. Chewed to pieces by the teamwork. You can just feel it oozing from the screen. The AI is pretty good at spreading the fire around, that's for sure, and shooting at what's dangerous and what's not. We've just lost men overboard. Oh, big hits there. Splash damage doing its job. I think those torpedoes will land. And they have. Water. A big, giant geyser of water followed by a geyser of fire. And you know that that thing is in trouble. Secondary explosions continuing to go off. Men screaming and being blown into the water. We just had an engine fire. The submarine tender is down. that would be our first kill of that class of ship as well. And look what's left. The arrogant Japanese admiral. Is he aboard? We don't know. Surely he must be, for the fleet to have acted so impetuously, and then for him to just turn tail and run once his fleet starts to disintegrate. Unfortunately, this carrier doesn't have the power to get away from a determined PT boat strike. We have left our men overboard behind. They are hopefully being picked up by our allied ships. Murray has blood in his eyes. He can taste victory. And he's not doing this for glory or accolades. He's doing this because they took his goddamn brother. And he's certain that one of these carrier strike groups was responsible. One of them would have the pilot that shot him down. And here we go. Murray's launching his attack. We're launching the light homing torpedoes as they crisscross, dialing in on the sound of the screaming engines as they desperately try to get away. But it's no good. Massive explosions. The carrier's engine rooms have been smashed. The props are grinding to a halt. And PT-104 slams into the side, dropping her depth charges. Set to blow up 10 meters below the surface. And as you can see, Murray Baker is not a man to be stopped. PT-104 has just made history, I think, sinking 2 carriers in one action. Really, where can this man go next? Who knows? But one thing's for certain, I'll be there watching. If you're enjoying Boat Crew, make sure to let me know down below. This is a lot of fun to play, it's a lot of fun to film, and it's a lot of fun to tell this story for you. We're doing a donut to celebrate a victory. Until next time, Commander Tyrael out.